Am I the a-hole stories? Am I the a-hole for taking a wedding dress back? I had a designer dress that I got at a ridiculous discount. I paid slightly less than 10% of the original cost for the dress because the last bride never made it to the altar. She was rich and didn't care about money, and I was discount shopping on Craigslist. It was a perfect match. I made the dress my own, took out the zipper and put in a corset back, added a bustle, etc. I got married in it, hooray, so all was well. Fast forward a bit, and a friend asks to borrow the dress. The friend is financially struggling and dealing with health problems, and they're pushing up their wedding to get on their future husband's federal employee insurance. They want to look pretty for their wedding, so they ask me to borrow the dress. So, I tell them of course they can borrow the dress, and I'll take care of cleaning costs afterwards. I only ask that they keep it from being irreparably stained or damaged. In my head I'm thinking, don't eat a 50-gallon drum of spaghetti with nothing but your face and we'll be fine. 2 weeks later, I start getting a bunch of messages with color swatches. I think, oh, wedding theme colors, nice. She was actually shopping around to get fabric dye to dye my dress some version of a sage/pea/puke green color. There was much concern back and forth that ensued, as I realized her intention to drop my very expensive got at a bargain hand-sewn to be perfect for me dress into a vat of sadness in a shade of green. Nope. At one point in the conversation, I politely but firmly informed her that I agreed to the dress being borrowed, but would not consent to the dress being dyed. She messaged me back too late. More exchanges happened and I ended up getting the dress back from her a week before her wedding, happy to find out she lied about it being too late. She admitted she was hoping that I would just give up and let her do what she wanted with the dress if I thought it was too late to do anything about it. She ended up throwing a fit when I told her she couldn't dye it, and refused to use it unless she could dye it to be her dream wedding dress color. I was cast as the bad guy for taking my dress back from a sick friend, and denying her a day to feel beautiful. I think I am maybe not the bad guy here? But I did get the dress at a steal. It was an expensive dress though, so not one I could replace easily, this being the only reason I mentioned the original cost. However, it was for a sick friend and I did get it cheap, minus the sentimental factor of having done all the work on it and having worn it myself. I don't know, so you tell me, was I the a-hole to take my dress back a week before her wedding? Edit 1. People are asking what I wanted to do with it otherwise. I wanted to save it for my daughter, if she wanted to use it, no pressure of course, or turn it into a keepsake or repurpose it to make a veil for my daughter, etc. All things I couldn't do if she ruined it with a poor dye job and or refused to give it back after dyeing it. Edit 2. Because I can't reply to 1,000 messages individually, I'll just say that I've gotten messages that I'm the a-hole because I didn't just give it to her. That I need therapy and that I have boundary issues. Thank you for the people genuinely interested in offering reasonable advice, but some of the messages are just yikes. I accept the judgments, however, I no longer try to help others in the same way. See my comments for more. I am no longer friends with her for those worried about it, and I'm going to have to disagree that I'm a useless doormat for trying to do something to help an ex-friend in need. I took it back and didn't just blindly roll over and let her have her way like a doormat might. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Borrow, not give. She doesn't own the dress. You still do. And if you don't want it dyed, you don't want it dyed. Yeah, this was confusing to me. I would never ask to borrow, not have, something and then be like, into the vat of dye you go. It never occurred to me that this was a thing people might consider doing when I loaned the dress. She's an absolute a-hole and you're treating her too kindly. She willingly stole and modified your dress for her own personal gain. She is a thief and social manipulator. She is bad, evil, and overall a negative thing. Not the a-hole for sure. She had no business wanting to dye it. Also, you mentioned telling her not to put any irreversible stains. I think dyeing is included in that. In my head, I didn't imagine anyone would ask to borrow something and then decide that was a free card with which to irreparably change the borrowed item. Of all the things I could have imagined going wrong, this scenario was certainly not one of them. Not the a-hole, but your friend sure is. She's so sick she needs to borrow your dress, but not sick enough to fight you and also lie about dyeing a dress she doesn't own? Lots of us have health problems, we don't use it as an excuse for crappy behavior. I'd pass on that friendship, like hard pass. Hard. I have a terrible habit of sharing everything I have with whoever says they need it. I have definitely learned to be a bit more discerning before loaning things out. Actually, that's a lie. I loaned my car to someone who needed it and she racked up tickets in it under my name, via license plate, and refused to give it back until I made the police go get it from her. I've gotten better about this stuff the last bit, but I still always manage to feel guilty about it. Ugh. So I feel guilty about it sometimes, but I have stopped sharing things in the same way. I help find resources and offer assistance in different ways now than I did in the dress and car situations. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for uninviting my parents to my wedding after my mom said I don't care about your freaking wedding? I'm engaged to the love of my life, we'll call her Sarah. Sarah doesn't have issues with my parents, but there is a little tension on both sides and no one has attempted to be close, which is fine I guess. It makes me a little sad that they are not more excited about her. Sarah asked my mom the other day if she would help make centerpieces. Sarah is into DIY but we are running out of time, and she was asking around to see who would be willing to help. She admitted to my mom that it was kind of grunt work, and if she didn't want to, no pressure. My mom got offended and said of course she doesn't want to, we haven't cared about her at all, so she doesn't care about our freaking wedding. This hurt Sarah but she didn't fight back. Sarah told me and I called my mom. Honestly, I probably went into it a bit aggressively, but I yelled at her for saying that to Sarah. My mom said that Sarah hasn't included her in any of the fun parts, or cared about her opinion on anything, so why would she help make centerpieces? I asked her to apologize to Sarah and my mom said no, she was done talking about it. So, I uninvited her to the wedding. My dad sent me a text, because I said he could still come, and pretty much told me to bug off if I thought he would come without my mom. My mom is now upset because everyone is going to ask where she is. Sarah is very happy and feels like I defended her, and literally everyone else thinks I'm the a-hole. Question: is your mom right? Was she not included in any of the fun stuff? Because if she wasn't, then I totally get why your mom would be upset. Even if Sarah asked her politely. Edit: based on your comments I'm editing my comment to say you're the a-hole, and so is Sarah. You both excluded your mom in everything. Sarah doesn't want her there for any of the wedding stuff but seems to think it's okay to ask her to do emergency DIY for your wedding. I would be livid too, though I would have worded things differently. You are basically telling your parents, my fiancé hates you enough to not involve you in anything and I agree with her, but you should still want to be at her wedding and play happy family. Edit 2, several people are asking me why I think mother-in-law should have been invited to the fun stuff, whatever that is. Personally I love crafting. Like I stated before, I don't think there is any obligation to involve people in your wedding. Though it can be a nice way to get close to family or friends. The reason why OP and fiancé in my eyes are Oz is because they excluded mother-in-law and everything, have disrespected mother-in-law's family, religion and culture on several occasions, but get angry that she is hurt. Please click on OP's name to see his responses to see what I mean. And it's fine if you disagree with me, this is just the opinion of a boring 30-something married lady and mom, who has the flu and spends too much time on Reddit now that she is sick in bed. To me, fun stuff sounds more like she wanted to stick her nose in where it didn't belong. Unless she legitimately wasn't invited to showers etc., where she had an expectation to be invited to, in which case, maybe there is a reason for her to feel hurt. But that never excuses lashing out like that. You're the a-hole. I can't believe how poorly she was treated, it's no wonder she was upset. Trying to hide what you did just makes it even worse. Is your mom right? Because if she was iced out of the whole wedding process and now your wife comes to her asking for manual labor, yeah, I can see how she would be pissed. ESH until further notice. Edit: also, thanks for not putting these facts in your post. 1. That your mom asked for an apology from Sarah as well in order to apologize. It's not like she just flat out refused. 2. Your mom was pissy because your wife's family rudely asked her questions about her Muslim heritage, ganged up on her, and it was literally only her from your family at the party. Because your other family apparently doesn't speak English. And was therefore excluded. OP has now contradicted himself and says that besides his grandma, her siblings are bilingual and they talk in English but use the other language to talk crap. 3. It's not like Sarah only invited her mom. She invited her whole family to do things like shopping, planning, picking decorations, tastings and going to the spa. Come on, don't you think she should have asked the large groups of her family that were participating to do grunt work? 4. Sarah doesn't like the fact that your mom is a confident stay-at-home mom. She doesn't like the fact that it was an arranged marriage. Being a stay-at-home mom is work, and it's none of her business if it was an arranged marriage. It doesn't change the validity of her marriage. 5. As another commenter pointed out, they were going to give you the deposit you need for a house, as a wedding gift, and you still didn't think of involving your mom in anything wedding-related. And she was willing to still do this and keep quiet until Sarah came up to her with that rude as hell offer. Additional info: no, my mom was raised that you don't ever ask for something like that. It is rude and imposing, so you wait to be invited. Sarah didn't invite her just because she doesn't enjoy being around her and didn't feel obligated to invite her, but it was okay to let this unliked person give you the payment for the house and do the decorations, right? 6. It has been revealed that OP thinks his mom lacks critical thinking skills, despite managing to be a stay-at-home mom, and party planning for her husband's business. Even if you are unpaid, work is work. They both benefited because they are married and therefore share money. How you talk about your mom is awful. It is difficult, because I don't think my mom has great critical thinking skills. I'm not trying to be mean, but everything in her life was picked for her, including who she married, and she has never worked outside of the house. My dad is telling her to go no contact. and I guarantee the family is going to back him, and I almost don't blame her because she doesn't know how to make decisions. Okay. Seems like a sexist line of thought. Would Sarah approve? You're the a-hole. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my mom that she is responsible for getting money from her friend, after he damaged my wife's wedding dress? My mom was nearly uninvited from my wedding because she just can't behave. She always has to give her opinion and make it about herself, so she was already on thin ice when this happened. My mom's best friend has always been an a-hole. We'll call him Martin. He was always around when we were growing up and he is just obnoxious. My mom isn't super family oriented and always believed that the family you pick is more important. At the wedding my mom came up to the head table and was talking to us. She was drinking wine and Martin came up behind her and grabbed her ribs in a way we used to call tasing when I was in middle school. It tickles horrible and is pretty jarring. My mom spit red wine all over the front of my wife's dress. My mom was horrified, but Martin thought it was funny and said considering how we treat my mom, he doesn't even feel bad. My dad came over and tried to play it off as the two of them are so immature I can't leave them anywhere. But my wife was furious. Since the wedding Martin has been refusing to pay though he posts pictures on social media showing off new cars and buying jewelry for his 25-year-old girlfriend. I told my mom that she is responsible for getting Martin to pay. She said that isn't her job, but I said he is her a-hole friend who she begged to invite. I said if she doesn't get her money from him, I'm done having a relationship with her. Now my dad thinks I'm being a manipulative a-hole, and the whole side of the family is mad at me. Now for the top comments. I feel sorry for your wife. It was her one day, and they ruined part of it. The way I see it, the refund isn't about buying a new dress but showing accountability. I agree with your decision of cutting them out. Not the a-hole. Hijacking top comment with a suggestion. My sister worked at a bridal store and the owner used to wash all the dresses in her washing machine on delicate cycle. Unless the dress is all lace or tulle. My sister told my mom this, who 30 years ago spilled red wine and beef gravy down the front of her lace and satin wedding dress. My mom, thinking it couldn't hurt, sprayed Resolve on the stains, flipped the dress inside out and washed it with Tide on Delicate. Surprisingly, 30-year-old stains came out like they were never there in the first place. OP, regardless of whether someone else made your mom jump, she still spilled and is in the wrong. I hope you get an apology, but more importantly I hope the dress can be cleaned so you can keep it as a memory. She always believed that the family you pick is more important. Well, now's her chance to pick. She can pick this dude or pick you. Legally, by the way, you might have some grounds to sue one or both of them for the cost of the dress, or at least its resale value. Would you want to push it that far, given that you're prepared to torch your relationship over this? Not the a-hole. There isn't much of a relationship. She pretty clearly picked herself years ago, but I'm not sure if it is worth the hassle of small claims court. My dad even offered to pay for it if we leave Martin alone. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to give my sister a wedding dress that was offered to her first? I know the title sounds bad but hear me out. Me and my sister are twins, she's engaged and is going through the whole process of planning her wedding and I'm helping out. Recently, we've been wedding dress shopping and she hasn't found a dress yet. She really likes the mermaid dress style, so I'm sending her pictures on Pinterest for inspiration and such. Our mom hasn't been able to attend wedding dress shopping with us because she is immunocompromised, so we've been taking pictures and going over to her house to show her. We went over to mom's and she had pulled out her old wedding dress, and asked Molly, I'll call this my sister, to try it on. She tried it and hated it because it was the opposite of what she wanted. It was a puffy silk ball gown with those really ugly puff shoulders that was super popular for wedding dresses back in the 80s. My mom asked if she would want to wear it for a little just for the sentiment and she refused and literally said, nah, let Liz, me, have it instead because it's so outdated, and we all laughed about it. After this, I asked my mom if I could have the dress so maybe I can see if I can make some changes to it, and she was happy to give it to me. I sew and upcycle things I find at the thrift, so I wanted to see if I could make it wearable. It's honestly a really beautiful dress besides the puffs on the shoulders. I worked on this dress for a good 3 to 4 weeks, and hard work pays off because it looks really similar to Kate Middleton's dress. I am so happy with the dress and plan on wearing it on my special day and my mom loves it too. Me and Molly have not been talking, purely because she is getting super busy with wedding planning and doing her bachelorette trip, so I haven't really told her the stuff I've been doing on the dress. My mom posted a picture of the dress so far, not finished, on her Facebook, and my sister saw it and texted me saying she didn't know I had taken the dress. She asked if she could try it on, and of course I said yes. She came over and tried it on and she started crying, and I'm feeling so happy that she loves it too. That's when she starts giving me suggestions to add bling here, and how she wants the sleeves longer. And I tell her that I intend on this dress being mine since she rejected it in the first place. She got really upset saying she knows this is her dress, and how I'm being selfish because I know that she hasn't been able to find a dress yet, and how the dress was meant to be for her. I offered to help her find a similar style and she refuses, saying she wants to wear mom's dress now. Molly starts saying things like my boyfriend isn't going to propose to me anytime soon, and that she was offered the dress first. I'm firm on keeping the dress and my mom is too. My dad and some of my family think it's better if I just gave up the dress since her wedding is first, and to ease the family tension. Am I the a-hole? Edit 1. Hello guys, my sister isn't a bad person. We love each other a lot. I understand a lot of people think it's convenient that I'm working on a wedding dress for myself, and somehow I'm trying to spite her. That's not what it is at all. I thought my mom had given her dress away a while ago and it only got brought up when Molly got engaged, and that's when we discovered she still had the dress. Me and my SO have been together for 5+ years, so I think I'm nearly there, haha. Me and mom are working on a solution on finding Molly a similar style ball gown, and I have some scraps from mom's old dress I can sew in the inside to keep the sentiment if she wants. We are slowly working things out. Thank you to everyone who had time to respond. Absolutely not the a-hole. She didn't want it. You put the work in. But I don't know why you let her try it on. I'm not sure how you thought that would go. Why else would she want to try it on? You know? Right, I couldn't fit it into the post since it almost surpassed the 3,000 limit, but my mom did post in the FB post that it was Liz's dress that she working on for her big day. So, when my sister texted me saying she saw the post, I assumed she knew it was a dress I was making mine and she just wanted to try it on for herself to see. Since we're twins, we share clothes all the time and always try on each other's things, so I didn't think much of it since the dress wasn't a style I thought she wouldn't like. I just don't even know why she would ask to try it on except to swipe it. Especially since she's so busy. But I get it. I still don't think you're the a-hole. Your sister is stressed, I get that, but it's basically a new dress now. She didn't want it for the sentiment then, so why now? She just wants a cute dress, and it's not fair to try and steal it from you after you've put all that work in. Not the a-hole. Your sister rejected the dress. You put the time effort into making the dress into your dream dress. It is your dress. My guess is your family is just tired of hearing about it and are hoping for the quickest resolution, whether or not it is the fair. Not the a-hole. She's being selfish by now claiming that the dress belongs to her, when you clearly took it in for yourself after she said she didn't want it. It's not your fault she now likes the dress, I'm sure it looks beautiful. Your sister is being really selfish and inconsiderate of your feelings completely. She's being even more rude by insulting your relationship and saying you won't get married soon. Tell her to suck it up and find a dress for herself. The dress is rightfully yours, even your mom thinks so, and it's her dress too. She needs to let it go, not you. Or just make her pay you lots of money for altering the dress. Labor isn't free. And that's it for this video guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day everyone.